Okay. First of what you need Woven Kit Nightly version. 8.16.1 CLI version of Woven Kit. So not the exe, but the console. And then you just extract it anywhere. We'll use it later. What I like to do, I like to download the modder's resources. If you don't have an example template, it will provide us with an anim.animations or .anims files that we need. And then make sure you have Blender version 5.0 and then plugin version of the Blender 1.8.0. One more thing, you need to install Easy Photo Mode Poses modding tool by Wolf. This will take our animations, it will convert them and pack them into photo mode poses. And if you want, you can also convert these poses for AMM with easy AMM poses, but I'm going to only focus on photo mode for now. Make sure that you download this. Do not install it into your mod game folder. This is not a mod, this is a Woven Kit project. So once you install it, unpack it, open it, open the project in Woven Kit, and then delete everything from here. Delete this. Don't worry about the errors if you see any. We only need these two files. Okay, now you open your Blender. I'm gonna also provide a download link for the template that I use. You'll see that you have different type of bodies right here, nicely packed. If you open the FemV, for example, you'll see that there's different body types as well, and then the armature. For now, I'm just gonna do the most basic of posing tutorial. But if you want, for example, an EBBRB body, right? You just hold shift, click on this hide in viewport, and then you hold shift and open this, and then you can actually just open the collection and then just hide whatever items you don't need. But for now, I'm going to focus on the vanilla body. I'm going to do this like this, and then make sure that the armature is actually visible, because this is the armature, the black dots. So if I hide this, you'll see we need these to manipulate the bones in Blender. So, all right. So after you got everything, you click on the bone. You do object mode. You select it. You go to pose mode. Now this is where you start posing. I'm gonna actually hide this right here. Actually, no, I'm not gonna hide it. I'm gonna leave it. This is also important. So once you do your pose, I'm gonna like do something like this, just something really goofy, just for this example. Oh, and how you move the bone. You select the bone, you press R, and then you have three choices: X, Y, and Z. So the X, so each one you can click twice. So you see that the knee is a bad example because the knee only goes up and down. But for example, for this bone, let's say I want to move it in my X direction. So if I click X once, it'll move up and down. But if I press X one more time, it'll rotate side to side. Same thing with if I click on Y. I click Y once, it goes side to side. I click Y again, it goes up and down. And then same thing goes with Z. So if I click Z once, it'll go, it will rotate. But if I click Z twice, it'll go side to side. Now, let's say you're happy with your pose. I'm gonna like do this, and then click on X 3 times, rotate the arm right like this. If you don't like anything, or if you want to just reset everything to default, you select the bone, or you select everything if you don't like everything. But let's say, for example, I don't like how this arm looks. I just want to reset to default. I press the bone, I select it, I go to pose, clear transform, all, and it'll just reset its on its original position. Make sure you do not touch this bone right here. This is important for Cyberpunk. This will tell Cyberpunk where is the original character's position is. So if you move this bone, the eyes will start tweaking out. And if you move the character too far from this bone right here, or this node, whatever you call it, you'll have a very difficult time um, making sure that the character is looking where you want him to look, or where you want them to look. Okay, so let's say you're done with your pose, you're happy. I'm gonna like do something goofy like this too. Um, then all you have to do is just press A. You select not Z, A to select all the bones, and then in here you will have to be in the nonlinear animation right over here at the bottom. Select stop 0, I guess, or mark 0. You press on K, whole character, and then something like this would show up. But then you also need to do press on 1, press K, whole character again, and then 2, press on K, whole character again. Someone told me that if I do 4, it'll prevent V from flickering, but it's not that big of a deal. I can just freeze them in AMM once I'm done positioning them. Okay, now in here you'll want to name your animation or your pose, I guess. So I'm gonna do just test video, and then you press on enter, and then you click on this, and it'll embed itself or create itself. What I like to do, so I don't mess up, I like to actually lock this so it doesn't go anywhere. Now you'll see in here on this little window, this window you can actually open by pressing the little the key N, and then you go to Cyberpunk modding. So this is your actual animation. If you delete this, your animation is gone. You'll be able to recover it only if the character is in the same pose as they are right now. So make sure you don't delete this by accident. All right. Now, let's say you're doing your post pack and everything, and everything's working out fine, and you're ready to just put it in, create it in photo mode, and then just install it in your game. Go back to the object mode. Press on the armature dots. It'll automatically highlight everything, and then you'll want to do File, Export, Cyberpunk GLB. Click on Animations. Now go back to your project. Now we want to export these two. Well, export the one that you actually are working on. So if you're working on masculine poses and feminine poses, you just select both and then you just export. But for this example, I'm using feminine poses. So I'm just going to focus on pwa.anims.glb. I am going to open this GLB right here, copy the path, and then paste it in here. And then I want to replace the pwa.anims.glb. And yes, there are differences in bones between the masculine poses and the feminine poses. So if you try to assign feminine poses to mask, the masculine bones will shrink. If you try to assign masculine poses to feminine to the feminine bones, they will expand. Now I do export, make sure that the animation is highlighted, and I do export, and then it should not give you any errors. If it gives you errors, then there's something wrong with either your Blender, the plugin version, or how you actually created the pose. So just make sure that it does not give you errors. And then go back to photo mode, or sorry, Woven Kit. I'm gonna refresh this. I'm gonna select pwa.anims, and then I do import selected. And then if I open PWA, since this is a template from Nexus, I should be seeing a lot more different poses. So this is your animations list. Now, since these are templates, I don't need them, so I'm just gonna delete everything. I'm gonna highlight everything, delete. Okay. Now, what you want to do is you want to open this, open animation, and in buffer, this is really important. You expand anim buffer, and then where it says num tracks 13, you want to change to 0. This prevents the major twitching whenever you try to manipulate the body inside the photo mode. This is very, 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 very important. And then I'm just going to save. If you have a very large list of poses, what I like to do is I like to convert first, export your pose or import your new poses to the anims file, and then I like to right click, convert to JSON, open the JSON in um in a text editor, and then do Control F, num tracks, end quote, and then I look for num tracks. It would usually would say 13, but since I changed it, now it says 0. But what I like to do, so if I copy everything, press Control F, and then I expand this, which is basically find and replace. In here, it'll say like 13, and then we want to replace it with 0. And then we just do replace all, and it'll just replace everything. And you just save this document, and then you right click, convert from JSON, it'll convert it back to the anims file. Now, once you download the Wolves photo mode modding tool, it will look something like this. First, you need to point it to the Woven Kit console versions that you installed. So the mod name, you can read it here. You can't change it later, but you can manually rename it the final.archive at any time. So this will be your .archive file name. So I'm just going to do video testing. And then this is the photo mode category name, the name that you see in game. So I'm going to do video testing poses. And then in here, it'll ask you for the animation file. What I am going to do, I'm going to open the animation file and then copy the path from here. And then go here, click on this, and then go there, and then select PWA. I'm not really sure if the replacer NPV replacers work anymore in this tool, but I believe it should. And if you have masculine poses, of course, do the same over here. But I'm done. I'm going to click on load animations. It's going to take a second because it's creating a YAML folder. It's creating the .xl files and everything that you need. Now it did detect our pose, which is good because it's reading off of the anim file. And then in here, it says the animation name, and then the display name you can change like test pose, right? This is the display name that you're going to see in game. And now once you're done, click on build. And then once it's finished, you just open your packed folder, and then you install these in game. I'm going to do it like this, paste here, and then there you go. I installed it in my game. Now, if I launch my game, I should be able to see the poses. And then there you go. The poses right here that we created. Let's say you want to add more animations to your already existing post pack. That's also pretty easy. So just go in, create a new project, and then make the same name of your project as your archive. So in this test, I made the name video space testing. So I'm just copy the name, paste it right here. It's going to say that project must not contain special characters. So you can actually do this and then just put a space right here. This will be your archive name. This will be your project name. And then just click on create. Now in here, um, in the resources, you will put the .excel file. So if I open this, if I open these two, copy this over here, and then you will need your R6 file right here. And then in the mod browser, click on enable the mod browser, and then search for video testing, and then click on the top. Basically, select all the folders inside this archive. Select all, add selected items to your project, and then here's your animation file, and here's your testing. So let's say you're working on your poses, you export them, um, and then you import them into the GLB, and then you put them, and then you import them into your archive. And then the next thing you want to do, you want to update the YAML. The YAML is where the information is stored for the photo mode to recognize that there are poses there. So in here, first, what you want to do, I like to work from bottom to top. So where it says photo mode character dot female poses, and then you don't have to worry about this. This is just assigning the fem characters these poses. So let's say I want, well, first copy this, and then make a copy of it. So press enter and paste it, and then change the name of the pose that you just created. So let's say you made a pose called test video 2, right? Keep these numbers right here. These are just random generated numbers that the tool, Wolf's tool, generates. So once you created this right here, append once, a new one, then you want to go to this section right here where it says photo mode poses dot, and then the name of the pose, and then the animation name. The animation name needs to match the name that you assigned it in Blender, and then the animation time 0. That's correct. And then the category, you just don't worry about all of this. Just copy everything, paste it, make a new copy. And then in here, we want to change test video to test video 2, because that's what our new pose name is. And then the animation name, test video pose 2, and then how it would look like, display name 2. And then you just save this, and then you close out of this, and then you're done. I did not make a new animation. I still have animation 1, I guess, the very first one. But if you do create new animations, it'll show up right here, and then you'll have to update your YAML file.